back of the rim. Garnett on the slam. Oh, using Curry way downtown. Oh, what a shot from Curry.
No smooth ad intro today, I just gotta get this out of the way first. Thanks to SeatGeek for sponsoring this video. SeatGeek is the amazing app that provides you with the easiest way to buy tickets for almost any kind of event, which would most likely be sports related for you all. The app pulls tickets from all over the web and has them in one place to make purchasing one for your event really easy, and it also assures you'll be getting the best value for your ticket. While searching for your tickets, each one is ranked with a score from 1 to 100 that lets you know if you're getting a good deal or not for your purchase. On top of that, the app also provides you with the detailed view of what you would see from your seat before you even get there, which is extremely helpful. If you're interested in downloading this app, the links will be in both the comment section and highlighted in the description. If you're still on the fence, consider using my promo code DOM2K to get $20 off your first purchase.
At the corner, he looks at him, and everybody.
There's a reset on the 20.
Oh, behind the back! Oh my God!
A lot of attention to him. They got the steal behind the back to Beasley.
He's the best big man in the NBA.
40 players. That's how many guys were taken before what very well may be our next great European big. But even now, here in 2019, that's understandable, right? This video is being recorded just hours after he got done playing a quadruple overtime game, and NBA Twitter is drenched with memes about how he was out of gas and how he couldn't wait for it to be over. And we know what that's about, right? It's his appearance. Jokic does not look like a franchise cornerstone now, and he did not look like a franchise cornerstone in 2014. But that still does not take away from the shock value of his draft position, and it's shaping up to look like franchises are just gonna have to deal with what they missed out on for the next decade or so. Speaking of that, like was established, he was a second round draft pick, selected 41st overall, so we're definitely not about to list 40 players and how they're fitting in with their franchise and their whereabouts. Instead, we're just gonna chat about how this happened, maybe look at what a couple of franchises are dealing with because they didn't pick him, and in what may become a new series, we're gonna look at his rookie year compared to where he is right now, so how he was playing, the team situation, things of that nature, because it's always amazing to see a superstar's evolution. So for how Jokic fell to 41st, just look at him now and imagine him back in 2014 before anybody knew he could really play. We're talking about a guy that seemed like he was a bit overweight to be a basketball player, couldn't really jump, wasn't that athletic, and on top of that he was an overseas prospect, so at the time of the draft, if you were going to select him and bet anything on him, then you were likely looking at a bust. The Nuggets, however, were very intelligent in how they picked up on him and how they actually handled him. So in April of 2014, there was a Nike Hoop Summit in Portland. At that showcase, he gave reason to believe that he would be able to compete against NBA talent, but again, a lot of teams just weren't getting past the aesthetics. The Nuggets, however, picked up on the fact that he had a shot, that as a big man he could handle the ball very well, and considering where the NBA has gone, it's safe to say those were some important observations they made. However, just 10 days before the draft, Jokic's agent said that he was going to be pulling him out of the pool of names, which would have meant that the Nuggets weren't going to be able to grab him, and that would have been devastating because with another year playing in a league where he could showcase his talent and he could be scouted better, then you're probably looking at a situation where more teams know about him and it's going to be impossible to get him in the draft unless you have a high first round pick. So the Nuggets moved in. They told his agent that, no, they guaranteed his agent that they were going to select him 41st in the upcoming draft if he would stay in. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The Nuggets possibly have a future MVP on their hands, and what may eventually become the best second round pick of all time. It's a good thing they did that too. You may realize that he did not actually start his career until 2015, and that's because after the draft, he returned to the ABA where he won MVP. Now, imagine he enters the 2015 draft after having won that MVP and added to his game and improved and dominated. Yeah, no, he's nowhere near a number 41 pick at that point. And just so you can see what people actually thought about him at the time that he was drafted in 2014, here are some quotes. One analyst said, "Jokic is being talked up as an NBA prospect, and it is hard to see how he gets there unless he can really improve his athleticism. Given how his body looks, that does not seem to be in the offing even if he does hit the weights." So there you can go ahead and chalk one up to aesthetics. There's a website here that says, At 41, they chose Serbian big man Nikola Jokic. He is yet another player with fantastic size and a very nice touch from the perimeter, but his lack of foot speed and, wait, the A word, athleticism could make his NBA hopes a challenge. So we weren't even talking about him thriving in the NBA, we were talking about his NBA hopes. And then there's this last one here that says, the Nuggets also took Nurkic, but Jokic has proven himself more even though he doesn't have the same upside. So it was thought that Jokic did not have the same upside as Nurkic, and no shade to Nurkic because before the broken leg he was actually hooping, but I think we all know it's Jokic in this situation. So let's check out Jokic as a rookie. First of all, he only started 55 games, but he played a total of 80, so he was pretty healthy that year. Averaged 22 minutes per game. He was able to put up 10 points and 7 rebounds, which, hey, for a rookie, that's not bad. Only 2 assists though, which is, it's really crazy to be honest now that we found out what type of passer he is. He averaged a steal a game, 1.3 turnovers, and he shot 51% from the field while shooting 33% from 3. And he was playing for a Nuggets team at the time that was more or less just really looking for an identity. This was far after the Carmelo Anthony era, and this was a couple of years after they looked like they'd thrown together a really nice concoction of players under George Karl, but it ended up not working out for the long haul, so at this point they were just rebuilding, and hey, good thing they'd found a future cornerstone at the 41st overall pick. His per 36 minutes as a rookie had him as a 17 point and 12 rebound guy, so that's not a world away from where he is right now considering he's now 20 and 11. His NBA debut was extremely pedestrian. He played 3 minutes and 55 seconds, shot 100% from the field because he only took 1 shot, scored 2 points, had a turnover, and that was against the Houston Rockets. The commentator in this game also mentions that he had lost 25 pounds, and as you can see in his rookie year, he is noticeably skinnier than he is today. He didn't take that long to show some real potential though. In the 11th game of his career, which took place against the San Antonio Spurs, he scored 23 points and ripped down 12 rebounds. I doubt that would be considered his breakout game because he really didn't start streaking consistently until around December, but anytime somebody has a 23 and 12 game, there's potential there. His season high came against the Toronto Raptors in a game in February, and he had 27 points that game with 14 rebounds. So honestly, looking at a lot of his rookie footage, I think this is a situation where he was mostly slept on because he was in Denver. Hell, that's probably even accurate up to now where he's really getting the clout he deserves because he's elevated his game in the playoffs. But in his rookie year, you can see a lot of elements that said he was going to be a star. First of all, he's been passing better than a lot of point guards since he was a rookie. Obviously only averaging 2 assists a game back then, so it wasn't every game, but you could just see with the type of passes he was throwing that he probably had a future there. Always had a nice perimeter touch, and he's only built on those skills to the point that we're in the playoffs and in the time when it matters most. As of May 4th, he's averaging 25 points, 9 assists, 13 rebounds, shooting 50% from the field, and 40% from the 3-point line in his first postseason. First, guys, we have a long time to go. He's 23. And that's where Jokic has gained the respect of a lot of fans, including me. I respect him so much more because during the regular season I saw him play and I was like, yeah, the guy's he's definitely a star, but to me he was just another star back then. By the way, so we can see the comparison to what he did from his rookie season to the 2019 season, he upped his averages to 20 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists, 1.5 steals, and he shoots 51% from the field. With those 7 assists per game, again up from the 2.5 that he was averaging as a rookie, now we see his passing on full display, and for most people, especially those who haven't watched him, if they sit in on a game, that is what they will notice first. And it's not even just the trick passes because he's definitely got those, the ones where he's looking the other way or throwing behind the back, but his most basic passes are very impressive for a big man as well. The basic ones that he'll throw up court, his passes where it's just a 2-man game between him and a guard. That's where Jokic has an excellent chance to be one of the best big men to ever play the game, and definitely the best in the game today, even if he's not right now, because He's got all the skills that you definitely need going into this new era of basketball where it's positionless and everyone can shoot. To make up for his lack of athleticism and all the other things you would want from a modern player, the guy can do everything else: the passing, the rebounding, the shooting, the handling. And during these playoffs, I would definitely say he's gotten rid of the idea that he wasn't going to be able to be the star that you could give the ball to and just say go get it. And that was the reason a lot of people were not taking the Nuggets seriously. But as you can clearly see by these playoffs, even if they get knocked off in the second round, he's still that guy, and he's going to be that guy for the foreseeable future. So again, there was 40 players taken, so there will be no analysis about that, but just so you can see some of the names, Cleveland selected Andrew Wiggins #1 that year. Andrew Wiggins was supposed to have like Hall of Fame potential, and that has not panned out at all. Jabari Parker was selected 2nd. Utah took Dante Exum. Sacramento took Nick Stauskas. Poor Sacramento. Charlotte took Noah Vonleh. Boy, there is a lot of names here that are going to make the story of Nikola Jokic extremely entertaining. This just goes to show though that the draft is a very, very imperfect science. You think your Hall of Famer is the #1 pick and it ends up being the guy drafted 40 spots later. Go figure.